This is Daron, K1DBC. All stations please stand by. The Denver Radio Club Learning Net starts in 5 minutes.
W0TX repeater.
This is K1DBC. The DRC Learning Net will start in 1 minute. All stations please stand by. Sorry, here on YouTube, I guess that was not showing. Here's the... Sorry. All right, this is K1DBC Net Control. We'll hold up there for just a moment. If you're watching on YouTube, I got the video fixed. Sorry about that. We have, with that, check-ins N0TRP Jim, KB3 VCU Rob, WD0CIV Charles, KD9URM Paul, K4RNY Ronnie, and AE0SF Steve, and AE0RK Fred. Thank you all so much for checking in. All right, once more, this is Daron, K1DBC Net Control. We're taking all call signs, all call suffixes. If you'd like to check into the Denver Radio Club Ham Learning Net, please call now. All right, this is K1DBC Net Control. Again, youtube.com/Denver Radio Club if you like some behind the scenes. W0tx.org/check-in. You can follow along with the check-ins. Pretty cool system here. It will autofill your name, or from your call sign. I'll put your call sign in, and it'll automatically put in your name, call class, city, call issued, last change, expiring, and time we checked in, and some notes that I can put in there. So if you want to follow up on that, w0tx.org/check-in, you can kind of follow along with that as well. I might open that up eventually for people to be able to put their information into that themselves. So this is Daron, K1DBC Net Control. Yeah, KB6CC Scott, it looks like he was the one that mentioned last week about the ICOM question. I don't see anyone else follow up that they had any follow-up at the moment, but Scott or anyone else on topics you all talked about last week, finding HF noise, fox hunting, directional antennas, the ICOM question, and Fed slopers, DRC Saturdays. We can talk about quite a few things here. We'll take check-ins throughout the net, but feel free to jump in at any given time. So at this point in time, does anybody have any comments, questions, further check-ins, anything else at this moment? Please call now. All right, this is K1DBC Net Control. I can get things kicked off here about our recent event, DRC Saturday event. First one took place this past Saturday, excuse me, April 29th. It was kind of a meet and greet, show and tell. People brought out a lot of equipment, so we had a lot of people in attendance. If you go to w0tx.org and under events, you'll see a DRC Saturday, and it should be right on our front page as well. And there's some photos we got taken here. We'll have some more uploaded as well. But a lot of people in attendance at the Prospect Arena where we had our field day. A lot of cool show and tell, and just a really casual event. So hopefully, if you were able to attend, you were able to get something out of that, and we'll have a few more throughout the year here. So check that page out for some photos and more information on that. So yeah, definitely appreciate everyone who could attend and help put that on. Again, coordinators, Kevin Schmidt, K0KPS, Alex Acer, KS0E, Mark Thomas, N0XRS, and of course everyone that could attend. Really, you made the event what it was. So really, we do appreciate that. With that, I'll throw it out to the group. Anyone on that, if you want to bring up any experiences you had during that event or anything else, please call now.
KE0SF.
All right, this is K1DBC Net Control. I heard AE0SF Steve in there. I think there may have been a double. If someone else was trying to call in, go right ahead. All right, nothing heard. This is K1DBC Net Control. We'll throw it over to AE0SF. Steve, go right ahead.
Yes, this is AE0SF. I just wanted to let you know I have my pictures available. I just need to get them to you somehow from Saturday.
AE0SF, Steve, thanks. Yes, I will follow up after this net with a more up-to-date Google link, Google Drive link that you can put your photos in, and I'll try to make it as public as possible so everyone, if you ever have any photos from our events, we can try to coordinate things better like that. So yeah, I'll email you directly on that. Appreciate that. AE0SF, this is K1DBC Net Control.
Comment, s.t.e.m.
All right, this is K1DBC Net Control. I guess I've forgotten really to talk about everything that we really did there, but KE0SUM, go right ahead.
W0TX, repeater.
Oh, I'm sad I had to miss that. I do work on Saturdays, but I think this is the best thing Denver Radio Club's done in a long time. Just my personal opinion, because, well, like I said, I'm really sad. I'm actually thinking next time you do it, if it's on a Saturday, I might take the Saturday off. I know you had a lot of people. I've talked to a number of people, and everyone says the same thing. It was, like, great. So it's a little curious. Did you go drone? Or if anybody can give more insight, was everyone just setting up, playing, talking? A little more what went it gone? Is this like an outdoor ham fest, but different? KE0SUM back to net.
KE0SUM, Jonathan. Yeah, great to hear that. Glad to hear that. Yeah, and we may have shoehorned ourselves into an issue just by naming it DRC Saturday, but we're definitely flexible times and dates, hopefully. So we'll try to get everyone in there. So yeah, I did attend it. This time we had it was kind of a member show and tell. A FT8 demo, and there was people working Florida on the air contest. So if you look at some of the photos, and I'll work with Steve to get some of his photos as well. Alex AS0E, KS0E brought in some equipment, his antennas, and some of his transceivers. Let me see. So did K0KPS Kevin. He had set up. It was kind of just a showing and tell, and then KF0AWC had brought some equipment as well, and some other members as well. So they were kind of just showing the equipment that they either use in their home or out in the field. So it was kind of just this time. It was kind of just a show and tell, and just. Maybe using something for the first time. Some people were, and just experimenting with some just different projects. Yeah, if you look on our website, you can see some photos on that, and we'll try to get some more photos up. But yeah, it was mostly just people working some contests, just using radios, and it was just a very casual get-together at this point in time. But I'll throw it out to anyone else. I know there were a few people who checked in here that were able to attend it. If anyone else has any follow-up on that, go right ahead. All right, this is K1DBC Net Control. So that was just the event. That was just kind of what we had done this Saturday. The next one we have scheduled is for June 3rd. I guess it's nothing is set in stone, so we can really kind of adjust this as needed, really. But June 3rd, it's going to be a picnic in the park. And again, we had great weather this weekend, so hopefully, cross our fingers, everything else, all our further ones as well. So. Just probably another show and tell, really. Bring your own equipment, really. HT programming, if you want to help program your handheld radio. And then there'll be a radio tune-up session. They'll have some test equipment, so you can try to get your equipment operating well. You know, it's probably going to be... All of these will probably be somewhat similar, but just different, maybe specific topics that they'll be talking about. So... yeah, hopefully that maybe clears things up and maybe gets more people interested. But I'll throw it out to Jonathan or anyone else on our DRC Saturday event that took place. Please call now.
I'll comment, Drone. So you had quite a few hams. Sounded like a fun time. So how many people set up different antennas, and what bands were you working, that kind of thing? Or was it just more show and tell? KE0SUM.
This is K1 DBC Net Control. The people that brought their own equipment in, they definitely were trying to operate. It was more or less kind of casually just to get other people interested. But Kevin Schmidt there, I have just cut his face off there from the photo. But he had brought his oh my gosh, I'm forgetting the name of the radio rig there, Flex Radio. And he was operating, it was a lot of HF operations. And then I think Brian had also brought, AWC had brought his radio, and we were doing some operations on there. But it was kind of more or less just getting all the other people that kind of in attendance to maybe try to use it that hadn't been able to use HF equipment or have the HF license. So let's see, Alex Sarah brought his DX Commander antenna. Let's see. I know Brian AWC. I forget the exact model, but it's another. It was a pretty interesting antenna. I think it was this Thunder model. I just cut the information off on this, but or no, that was not it. That was not it. There was another antenna there. Yeah, just a lot of different antennas, and just trying to kind of show and tell what they were running. So unfortunately I don't have a lot of the specifics. I tried to take photos of some of the models, makes and models of the equipment out there, and I missed the radios unfortunately somehow. But I'm sure we'll get some other photos as well to show. So yeah, maybe if you have any other questions, go ahead.
AWC comment?
Yeah, KF0 or AWC, Brian, go right ahead.
Yeah, I was just going to note that I brought a super antenna, good from UHF, VHF, up to 40 meters with a ICOM 705. Alex was set up 73 ICOM 7300 using a battery pack that he designed and built, and he had the DX Commander. He was working FT8 on 15 meters, and I was trying to make contacts on 40 meters.
Perfect. Thank you, Brian, there, AWC. This is K1 DBC Net Control. All right, yep, KS0E had brought in his the ICOM 7300, pretty great rig as well, and then the ICOM 705, pretty cool rig that Brian had brought there, and yeah, the super antenna, pretty cool antenna set up there for HF, VHF, UHF, so pretty interesting and a little bit of one-upsmanship, a little bit, but it's all kind of part of the game, a little bit all fair in love and war and whatnot. So about some of the rigs and portability, things like that. So yeah, really cool stuff, and yeah, really cool to see the battery pack. I didn't get a photo of that, unfortunately, that he had built, but yeah, he told a pretty cool story about buying parts on AliExpress and kind of building it himself together. So for parts and pieces here and there, you can kind of get yourself up on the air, portable operations, not too bad. So yeah, appreciate that, Brian. Anyone else? Yeah, a lot of great event, really cool meet and greet. Was able to put a lot of faces to names and eyeball QSOs, as A0JK would say. So yeah, a lot of fun. So if you were out there, yeah, I'm happy to have been able to meet you or see you again from another time. But anyway, yeah, and hopefully we can see you all more in the future. So anyone else on that event, please call now.
I have a question for Brian, S.U.M.
S.U.M., go right ahead.
Brian, with the super antenna, a friend of mine had one, and I played with it 3 or 4 years ago. I was curious because they come with that little chart where you're supposed to put the coil for the band. I just thought that was interesting. It gives you an approximation, but do you actually use that? I mean, I use a rig expert for antenna analyzing. I was just curious.
W0TX repeater.
KF0AWC. Yes, I absolutely use that little chart to move it up because, it's different heights, and you can set it really close to 40 meters, 20 meters, and you're at different heights. 40 meters you might be 6 inches plus or minus, and then, down to 3 inches for 20 meters and so on. But it actually gives it different bandwidths of the frequencies on that chart. So yes, I do use it.
Do you find it pretty accurate? I mean, I don't know what radio you're using. All mine have, I'm always using a tuner at the same time. But, yeah, and I watch the SWR. So you find it works pretty well?
Yeah, the other day I took it out, set it 40 meters, and had like a 2-to-1 SWR just off the chart.
I'm happy with 2-to-1 or lower. KE0SUM, back to net. Thanks, Brian.
All right, this is K1DVC Net Control. Yeah, great question, and very apropos because he gave a pretty good demonstration of that during that event. I missed it, but I did ask the exact same question about that. So yeah, just a nice analog solution to a pretty important question and problem. So really cool stuff there. All right, this is Daron, K1DBC Net Control. I guess I'll take this opportunity to take further check-ins if you've just tuned in. Again, my name is Daron, call sign Kilo 1 Delta Bravo Charlie. You're listening to the Denver Radio Club Ham Learning It. Great place to learn about ham radio STEM topics in general. And thankfully, we have plenty of combined experience and expertise. We're taking all check-ins. If you'd like to check into the Denver Radio Club Ham Learning It, please do so with your... please try to use IQ Phonetics for your call sign and indicate if you have traffic or questions as you do. We're taking all call signs, all call suffixes A through Z, Alpha through Zulu. Please check in now. All right, this is K1DBC Net Control. Again, you can always check us out online, youtube.com/Denver Radio Club. You can see behind the scenes of what we're doing on our learning nets. W0tx.org/check-in. We're trying an experiment with this pretty cool way for a net control operator to take check-ins. So you can follow along on that if you like, w0tx.org/check-in. With that, anyone else at the moment, any other check-ins, please call now.
Echo, KS0E, Alex in Denver.
Kilo Foxtrot 0, Foxtrot Papa India, Ron in Lakewood.
All right, this is K1DBC Net Control. That time we had KS0E Alex and KF0FPI Ron. Thank you so much for both checking in. All right, this is K1DBC Net Control. Yeah, appreciate everyone being here this evening. We have another 30 minutes or so. We've been talking about our recent DRC Saturday event. Again, thanks to Alex who just checked in there. KS0E for helping to coordinate that. It was a really awesome event. We kind of talked about that a little bit, some of the equipment we were using, and just some kind of the activities that we were doing, and some of the future events on that. Appreciate everyone chiming in on that. What else? I know that one thing that we talked about is whatchamaface, fox hunting, and I know we've talked about N0CFM, and I think we're going to get him included on this DRC Saturday event. So hopefully, upcoming in the future, there might be some fox hunting type of activity as well. That should be a lot of fun as well. So this is Daron, K1DBC Net Control. Any other comments, questions, check-ins, anything else so far for this evening's net? Please call now.
Question, SUM.
Yeah, KE0SUM, Jonathan, go right ahead.
It's a question for the group. So everybody who checked in has to tell me. You don't have to, but I'm doing a little survey about if you carry a radio in your car, and do you do one VHF, UHF, both, or HF? So far, everyone just carries an HF radio and only monitors usually a certain repeater. So I don't know if you even scan. So if you don't mind, Daron, let's see if anybody will come along. KE0SUM.
KB6CC.
All right, this is K1DBC Net Control. KE0SUM, somehow I didn't have you checked in, but I just got you checked in now. Great question about mobile operations setup and what people's setup looks like. So it looks like KB6CC had some follow-up. Go right ahead.
Yeah, SUM, King Baker 6 Charlie Charlie. And normally I'll have a 2-meter handheld. I'm still working on figuring out how to install this dual bander ICOM 2730, and I have other questions, looking for an expert about tones and all that kind of stuff. But when I'm out in the RV or stationary something, I got that ICOM 7000 all band everything that I can play with on a screwdriver antenna for kind of temporarily set up while I'm parked.
All right, sounds good there, KB6CC. Pretty interesting setup you got there. So it's a 2-meter handheld, that dual band ICOM you were asking about previously, and another with a screwdriver antenna. So it sounds like a pretty good mobile setup there. So anyone else like to share information on what your mobile operations look like? I can give my information here as well if I don't hear anything just at the moment.
AE0RK.
AE0RK, go right ahead. The net is yours.
I use a dual band DMR mobile unit in my vehicle. Back to that.
W0TX repeater.
Very cool. Dual band DMR. That would make sense. We have a lot of DMR Brandmeister repeaters in the area. So, that's a pretty good setup as well. So, real quick here, I have kind of an interesting setup. I think I've talked about this radio in the past. It's a headless dual band radio. It's a Redavis RT99. And basically, you can either operate it from an Android or an iPhone, or there is a kind of like a Bluetooth. It has Bluetooth and APRS built into it, so I use a Bluetooth handheld device to use it. But yeah, it's a really nice radio and pretty not well known. Very unknown there. But yeah, pretty cool radio. So Redivus RT99, about $150, $160. Pretty neat. So yeah, I'll throw it out to anyone else. Any other comments, questions, follow up on the operations of mobile operations that you might have or use? Go right ahead.
K4RNY with a comment.
KS0E.
All right, we had K4RNY and then KS0E. So K4RNY, Ronnie, go right ahead.
In my personal car, I have a KE0SUM 800D, which is dual band DMR, which I like it a lot. And in my work, I can't actually put a radio in, so I can always keep a couple of handhelds with me. So I travel a lot, and I like, the fact we can get coverage about anywhere. K4RNY.
All right, K4RNY, CS Connect Systems 800D there. Yeah, I'm looking up here. Pretty neat looking radio here, and yeah, a lot of wealth of features. So really cool stuff there. And then we had KS0E. Alex, go right ahead.
Yeah, thanks, Drone. That radio that you were describing seems pretty cool. Next time I see you at one of the events, you'll have to let me take a look at how that works. So it's a headless radio. Does it store repeater information, or is that stored in like an app that you use on the phone? And how do you program that? I imagine maybe it's really easy and you can just download a file with all the repeaters for the area. What's that look like?
All right, no problem. This is K1DVC. I wish I had shown it off at the event there, but yes, and there's a bit of static on your signal as well, just as an FYI, but definitely readable. It's all app based, more or less. Well, you program it through an app, and it can store basically unlimited channels, but it's a little bit, it's closed source, so it's not really fully realized its potential, but let me drop here for just a minute.
Drone, John's signal is a really bad hum in the background. Sorry, John, but you've got a little electrical problem. I'm thinking it might just be a connection. KE0SUM.
All right, thanks there. Yeah, it is sounding pretty bad there, but boy, I'm struggling to find the links that I'm looking for. So it's a basic VHF UHF 50 watt programmed through an Android or iPhone app. Doesn't require the phone to actually work, or it doesn't require a phone to actually operate. The APRS is kind of odd. It doesn't have a GPS module built into it, so it uses this other Bluetooth thing that I'm trying to find, or the GPS from your phone. What else here? You basically can use like an Excel spreadsheet or something, basically, to program the channels in. Doesn't have any ties into anything like repeater book. But I think it has the potential for that. So I'm trying to bring up some more information on it here. But let me see if I can bring up the manual. But anyone else at the moment, please call now.
So, Jerome, this works through your cell phone. If your cell phone dies, it continues not to work.
This is K1DBC Net Control. So a cell phone is not required. It can still work. Ooh, I just made a mistake there. It will work without a cell phone. I'm trying to bring up the thing that I use to operate it with. But it does not require one. You can operate, basically, you can just connect a hardwire microphone into it, and whatever channels you have programmed into it, that's what it is working with at the moment. So you have to use an Android phone or a phone to update the channels. It kind of has a limitation of 16 channels at the moment. But with the apps, you can have many channel groups. So it's kind of odd at the moment. But I'm trying to find the thing here that I use with it. But this is K1DBC Net Control. I'll throw it out to anyone else or Jonathan on that. Go right ahead.
Jerome, I'll make a quick clip wit. It must be really popular. It's the first time I've ever heard of it. Thanks. I'm always interested in new technology, but I'd never heard of this one before.
KB6CC. Yeah, that does sound very interesting. And I'd like to hear a little bit more. You said it uses some Bluetooth connectivity. That's one of the things I want to try to do with this dual bander ICOM, but I'd be interested in hearing more about that kind of, how do you make it work? KB6CC.
This is KS0E. I'll fill a little dead air while Drone looks for his links. Jonathan, to answer your question, I run a dual band VHF, UHF, just analog, mobile. And hopefully I changed the power to high, and hopefully maybe this would get rid of the static. But yeah, so interesting question, Jonathan. Thanks for the idea. And Drone, I think we're all interested to hear a little bit more about the radio there.
Oh, changing the power changed everything. Totally clear.
Thanks for the report. Appreciate it.
All right, thanks there, everyone. This is K1DBC Net Control. Yeah, kind of not well-known radio. It is a clone of another radio. Still just trying to find what I'm looking here for. I somehow am struggling, but I should get it here in just a second. This is K1DBC Net Control. Let me drop for just a moment.
I'm still trying to find what I'm looking for, a YouTube song. KE0SUM.
W0TX repeater.
All right, this is K1DBC Net Control. All right, so operations-wise, it comes with a built-in wired microphone, just like any other radio. And then there's a few buttons on the front that can adjust the volume and the channel. That's the basics operation of it. But then there's this. Its Bluetooth functionality is pretty cool. You can pair it through Bluetooth to kind of your car audio if you want, or any other audio device. I use this thing. I use it's a Bluetooth. It looks like an HT, but it's Bluetooth, and it connects to the transceiver, and it has a screen on it. It's the BHM78 for anyone playing along. So with that, it basically operates just like any other transceiver. You can dual watch different frequencies, look at signal strength. This thing also has a GPS built into it. So this is like a $50 or $60 accessory for it. So, but with this is how I operate this radio. So if you see it on the screen or look up BHM78, it is basically a Bluetooth handheld device that you can use to change the channels, change the channel groups if you have different channels built into it, change all the functionality of the radio. You can turn the radio off and on from it. So this is basically how I operate the radio. It's just, it looks like an HT, but it's Bluetooth and it connects to the transceiver itself, and it also acts as an APRS. It has GPS built into it itself. So yeah, not very well known. It's quite bleeding edge, not having a head unit really on a radio. But that's kind of the, I just like a bit of a discrete setup. So this is as kind of discrete as it comes. So yeah, hopefully that answers a little bit more questions there. People are getting really interesting results out of maybe some WinLink TNC capability with it. So there's a lot of future potential to it. It just will take a bit of time. So this is K1DBC Net Control. Again, Retevis RT99. It is a clone of the Vero NC or VR NC. Excuse me, N7500. Vero N7500. They're basically the exact same radio. I think one has Chinese writing on it and one is not, but basically that is it. So this is K1DBC Net Control. I'll throw it out to the group. Anyone else have any other comments, questions on operations of this radio? Please call in. And a timeout. That makes sense. Sweet. Okay, well, that's good time. Timeout. Goes pretty quick on this now. This is K1DBC Net Control. I think I timed it out, just checking. There we go. Yep.
Yep, we got you now. This is KF0E.
Perfect, KS0E. This is K1DBC Net Control. Thanks for letting me know there. Yeah, again, as a reminder, the timeout has shortened on this repeater, and I forgot about that. So very, very cool stuff. So hopefully if anybody has any comments or questions on that, it does not require a cell phone to operate, but it does require one to program it. And all operations can more or less be done with a built-in wired microphone or some wireless Bluetooth accessory handheld type device. So this is K1DBC Net Control. Again, bleeding edge, very cool stuff. So I'll throw it out to the group. Anyone else? Comments, questions, anything else? Please call down.
Well, the question is, you just says it does require a cell phone to program it. So how hard is this app to program to this radio, KE0SUM?
All right, this is K1DBC Net Control. There is a Google group for it, or excuse me, a Facebook group for it. Essentially, it just is you kind of have to, I'm trying to bring up the spreadsheet here, but it's kind of very similar to programming in Chirp. There's a lot of odd stuff that you might see, but it's more or less the exact same stuff. You can program in name, receive, transmit, tones, bandwidth, things like that. They've basically made it so you put in the information that you need, and then you copy some information, you bring it over to your phone, and then you paste it into the app essentially. So it's work in progress. There is definitely a little bit of work in progress. I wouldn't say it's a little bit kludgy, but I think it's kind of it's not too much of an effort. I don't think, more than using Chirp or anything else. So yeah, you basically take this string, you copy it to your phone, open up the app, and it'll automatically import it into the app itself. So and the app, if you log it requires a login, but it basically backs up. So if you delete the app or get a new radio or whatever, it's all your channels are still there. So a little bit of oddness with some of it, but I think some of it can be overlooked to some of the interesting features of it as well.
Well, Jerome, it does look a little bit like Chirp, and what I was thinking is I like talking to you because you're always exploring new technologies, and you're more big into digital than I am. What was my other thought? Lately, my new thing is I like to stay current in about topics and things. So I've been playing with some free versions of Chat, what's it, GPA, AI.
Yes, this is K1DBC Net Control. Yep, ChatGPT and artificial intelligence. A lot of news about that here recently. So hopefully it doesn't take over the world entirely. But there's a lot of interesting things to explore there. I think there was someone had built some radio things around that here recently. Maybe I saw a news article. But always. Try to explore newer technology. Try not to be afraid of it if you can. An article here on Hackaday. The voice of ChatGPT is now on the air. Someone set it up to, let's see. I'll have to read into it a little bit more here. But pretty interesting stuff here. So this is K1DBC Net Control. Y'all throw it out to Jonathan or anyone else. Please go out, call now.
Well, Daron, I brought up the topic. So what I was interested in with AI and chat was how it worked and what it was doing. So there's a lot of free programs. You go out there and look at it yourself, because you have to decide on yourself whether I do suspect it's harmful. But I'd like to stay in current. KE0SUM.
Very cool stuff. Yep, that's definitely on topic. A lot of your things recently about that. So, a lot of artificial intelligence and a lot of potential to it. So, I think we're kind of just at the we're really still just at the infancy of all of this, really. So, who knows what things are going to look like 5, 10, 15, 20 years from now? But we are definitely at we're forging newer technology, and it's hopefully only going to be for the betterment of society, and hopefully maybe with trickle down, maybe our several 100-year-old hobby will see some benefit from that. So this is K1DBC Net Control. Very cool stuff there. Anyone else on that topic? We have another 10-15 minutes, or anything else? Any other comments, questions, check-ins? Please call now.
W0TX repeater.
All right, this is Daron, K1DBC Net Control. I'm sure I can bring up a couple of stories that have come up over the last few weeks. But anyone else? Anything else at the moment? Any other comments, questions, check-ins? Please call now. All right, this is K1DBC Net Control. I guess I can actually just read the story that I was maybe just trying to skim there and didn't see about ChatGPT and Ham Radio. Let me see if I can bring that back up here. Yeah, article titled, "The Voice of ChatGPT is now on the air." An article written by Lewin Day on hackaday.com. Really cool blog here on January 28th. AIs can now apparently carry on a passable conversation depending on what you classify as passable. The quality of your local pub's panter aside, an AI stuck in a text box doesn't have much of a living quality. Full stop human. An AI that holds a conversation aloud, though, is entirely another thing entirely. William Franzen has whipped up just that on amateur radio. The concept is straightforward, if convoluted. A D-star digital voice transmission is received, which is then transcoded to a regular digital audio. The audio then goes through a voice recognition engine. and that is used as a question for ChatGPT. So if we haven't really talked about it, delved into it too. You can basically give it questions. You can give this artificial intelligence questions or directions, and it'll scour the internet. It'll scour everything and kind of use a lot of intelligence to kind of answer that question. So. The AI's output is then fed to a text-to-speech engine, and it speaks back with its own voice over the airwaves. They demonstrate the system keying up a transmitter and ask the AI how to get an amateur radio license. He gets a fairly comprehensive reply in return. The result is the radio amateurs can call in with questions and can receive actual spoken responses from the artificial intelligence. They can imagine within the next month, AIs will be chatting up all over the airwaves with similar setups. After all, a few robots could only add more diversity to the already rich and varied ham radio community. So, you can see that video and a demonstration of that. So that's kind of an interesting kind of concept of basically using the radio to be as a barrier or as a access to these AIs. So really cool stuff there. I think I timed it out again. That does time out really quickly. All right, this is K1DBC Net Control. Again, I timed it out. I am sorry about that. Very quick timeout. I think it's about 3 minutes, and I think that's proving it. This is K1DBC Net Control. We have plenty of time here. Any other comments, questions? Hopefully, you guys heard some. You all heard what I had said mostly there. So, any other comments, questions, check-ins? Anything else so far for this evening's net? Please call now.
Comment S.t.e.m. Yeah, that timer's short.
KE0SUM, Jonathan, this K1DBC, I would agree. It seems shorter than normal, maybe. But I know recently we've had some changes, but even over the last few weeks, it doesn't seem like it's been this short. But maybe I'm just carrying on for a bit longer than normal. But either way, this is Daron, K1DBC Net Control. Appreciate that. Anyone else? Other comments, questions, check-ins? Please call now.
I did have a comment, Daron.
Jonathan, KE0SUM, go right ahead.
My comment was that, and it's not really radio related, other when we all have computers and talk. So I'll finish with my artificial intelligence, because Google is using the ChatGPT, I think, or something like that. But now Microsoft has Brian. They're searching. They're doing two completely different things. So I'll let it go at that. Explore both of them if you like. KE0SUM.
All right, KE0SUM, Jonathan. Yeah, absolutely. There's probably competing technology, and who knows? So pretty cool stuff, and it's adds convenience, but who knows where what's happening? The old phrase of what's the phrase? Oh my Lord. I can't remember what it is, but it basically is if you don't know what you're being sold, or if you don't know what the product is, you are the product, kind of a thing. So it's there's a lot of data aggregation and a lot of big data out there nowadays. So very interesting. So anyone else on that or anything else, please call now. All right, this is Daron, K1DBC Net Control. I might be able to bring up another story or two here. But anyone else? Any other comments, questions, check-ins? Please call now. All right, this is Daron, K1DBC Net Control. Always check out hackaday.com. A lot of cool articles. They have a lot of challenges and contests. One that they had recently was about an op-amp challenge. Let's see if I can find the actual page here. Give me a moment. All right, yeah, this is an article from April 11th. Very quickly, if I try not to time the timer out, a repeater out here, they thought it would be a good time to give the analog side of their crowd a chance to shine. And what's a quintessential analog integrated circuit? The op-amp. So whether you're doing tricky signal conditioning, analog computations like it's 1960, or just making music sound good, op-amps are the heart of many designs. This contest starting, it was April 11th. Here we go. It will be a great chance to show what you can do with a good op-amp or two. For myself and anyone else, an op-amp is an operational amplifier, DC coupled high gain electric voltage amplifier with a differential input, and is usually a single-ended output. It produces an output potential that is typically 100,000 times larger than the potential difference between its input terminals. The operational amplifier traces its origin and name to analog computers, where they were used to perform mathematical operations in linear, nonlinear, and frequency-dependent circuits. So I'm sure there's definitely a lot of overlaps with this. So a lot of cool information on their webpage on this. Let's see, the categories were hyper precise, if the project calls for and realizes high analog precision, minuscule offset voltages, ultra low input current, crazy slew rates, oddball category, a category for those who want to stretch out and try to make op amps do things that they're not normally meant to do. They've seen them used as motor drivers and seen their share of magic smoke. And the classics, categories for op-amp applications that are opposite of the oddball. Standard situations where an op-amp fits like a glove. Part of the value here is showing folks who are new to designing with those where the power lies. So a lot of past examples within those categories. So if you have any interest, the contest might be over, or no, I think it's still going. So yeah, check out their website, hackaday.com. All right, this is K1DBC Net Control. We're about the end of the net here. Try not to run on too long here. But any other comments, questions, check-ins, anything else for this evening's net? Please call now.
FBI, question and comment. Very short. Back to net.
Sounds good. KF0FPI Ron, go right ahead. The net is yours.
Yeah, my comment is I want to give kudos to N0TRP. I think he puts on a really good net when you're not available, Daron. And my question is, on these mobile stations that were set up on Saturday, I want to know what size batteries typically a portable station uses. 21 VA or a 50 VA or bigger. Back to you, Daron.
All right, sounds good. Yeah, definitely appreciate N0TRP being able to take up those nets when I'm unavailable. Really do appreciate that. Yeah, and I've been able to tune in just at the end. So yeah, it sounds like you all have been doing quite well there. As far as the battery operations go, I don't know if KS0E Alex is still around, but we were talking about his battery setup. I don't know if you have any other further follow-up on that, KS0E Alex, go right ahead. We didn't have too much technical information on it. All right, this is K1 DBC Net Control. KS0E, Alex, are you available?
Daron, sorry about that. Nope. Yeah, Daron, sorry about that. I was in the other room listening on the iPad. I had my radio turned off. I happened to miss what the question was. Would you mind repeating it? Happy to answer it.
No problem at all. There was a question about battery operations, and we were trying to briefly describe some of the technical things about the battery setup you had brought.
Sure. So you can buy, and if anyone's a member of the Parker Radio Association, there's a post somewhere on their forums about one of the members there who built themselves a lithium iron phosphate battery bank, basically buying the raw cells individually from AliExpress in China. So I sort of copied that. Basically what you do is you just buy your 4 cells. They come in 3.2 volts each, and you put them in series. I think mine were about $175 shipped. This was about a year and a half ago. And then you do need to go through a process of what's called balancing them. You basically need to charge them all together in parallel. And there's, good information on this on some solar websites. And then you get a battery management chip, which basically reads the voltage of the cells and makes sure that they don't overcharge or discharge too much. Here, I'll let it drop.
All right, this is K1 DBC Net Control, and you had a bit of buzz on your signal there as well.
Give me 1 second. I'm wondering if it's these lights that are dimmable. Give me 10 seconds here.
No problem, sounds good. Somehow that transmission sounded a lot better as well. All right, this is K1 DBC Net Control. Yeah, hopefully we can get some more information there. Lithium phosphate batteries, raw cells from AliExpress.com. And we'll see if he has any other follow-up on that. KS0E, go ahead and follow up whenever you want.
Yeah, thanks. Is this any better?
Much better. Go right ahead.
Okay, thanks. So yeah, I don't know if there was a more specific question, but that's the general outline of it. You can buy Anderson power pole. I don't know what you call them, but it's basically like a pre-assembled port that you can drill a hole in the side of something, and this pre-assembled component with 2 power poles on it can slot right in. So I got one of those cheap, tough plastic cases from Harbor Freight, and I put the batteries in there, and they charge and discharge through that Anderson power pole port that's on the outside of it. So I'd say that's about the general overview. If there are any more specific questions, happy to answer them.
All right, this is K1 DBC Net Control. Thanks there, KS0E, Alex, for being able to answer that. FPI Ron, if you have any other follow-up on that, go right ahead.
Yeah, I understand distribution and connection big time. I wanted to know what the typical VA was. Like you buy these cells you were talking about, and you pile them together, or I go buy a 50 VA battery. I want to know a typical power station, what VA capability they run. And it doesn't really matter if it's lead acid or LiPo-FE or whatever. That was my question. Back to net.
All right, thank you. Yeah, if you have any other follow-up on that, go right ahead.
Yeah, sure. I think you're asking about the capacity overall of the battery. It's 100 amp hours, and it has a fairly flat discharge curve. So in comparison to lead acid, you can run a radio on about down to about 20% of this battery's capacity. That's when I would say the voltage would drop down to probably like 12.2 volts. But for the vast majority of the charge curve. It's anywhere between 13.8 and above that 12.2 range.
All right, perfect. Thank you there, KS0E Alex. Ron, hopefully that answered your question, or if you have any follow-up on that, or anyone else, please call now.
Yeah, FPI.
FPI, go right ahead.
Yeah, that very much answered my question. The 100 amp hour, I was going to shoot for 50, and I was kind of looking at commercial-made battery boxes, but I have the option to make my own. I just want to see what the average amp hour everybody was kind of using on their portable array. FBI, back to net.
All right, sounds good. FPI, appreciate that. Come check us out the next event, June 3rd. Very similar. Feel free to bring your equipment if you want and operate. And some people might bring their stuff out and check things out. So yeah, really cool event. Yeah, really do appreciate it. Really cool stuff. Again, DRC Saturday event and again, nothing set in stone, and maybe date and times will change. So watch our website for that. So yeah, we had plenty of fun, great turnout on that. So all right, with that, we're just over the end of the net here. Anyone else? This will be the second to last call. Any second to last comments, questions, check-ins? Please call now.
TRP.
Yeah, N0TRP. Go right ahead.
This ends our TRP. Just want to thank Ron and Drone there for the kudos. It's a pleasure to be able to do the net, and I just maybe want to take this opportunity to invite anyone that would like to try to give that a try. It's a lot of fun to do, and boy, it's really all the hams on the net that respond and ask questions and answer questions that really make for a great net. So just delighted to be able to. It's a privilege to be a part of that, but. Like I say, anyone wants to give that a try, just let Jerome know, and he'll get you scheduled in, and we can go from there. But that's all I have for now. N0TRP, back to net.
All right, this is K1DBC Net Control. Yep, of course. Yeah, and I think I may have unfortunately taken it out of the script, but everyone is welcome at any given time if you ever want to operate as Net Control. It's more or less just carrying on a conversation. You just have to read from the net script, and then, as Jim mentioned, it's really all the people who check in that kind of drive this net and make it what it is. So, it's a pleasure that we're able to do this and be able to continue to put this on. So. With that, this will be the last call. Any other comments, questions, check-ins, please call now. All right, this is K1DBC Net Control. Again, w0tx.org/check-in. I'll try to get this over to Jim for next time he takes the net. But anytime somebody wants to run the net, I'm putting together a tool here where essentially you just put in someone's call sign and it fills out all their information for you. So really, really helpful, and you can follow along at home if you want. So this evening we had a total of 16 check-ins. Really appreciate that. A lot of great conversations here. Let's see. We again appreciate our club for allowing us to use their repeaters. w0tx.org for more information on our club. You can see a recent video of our recent meeting, get some information about upcoming siren tests, and all sorts of links and things like that. So plenty of stuff over on our website. Let's see what else. Appreciate everyone. So, with that, this is K1DBC Net Control. Again, it's been a pleasure, and I will close the net out. So, again, youtube.com/Denver Radio Club to check out any videos from past nets. Email Elmer w0tx.org. All things on social media at Denver Radio Club. So, check us out. So, with that, please join us next Wednesday, May 10th, for the next Learning Net. So, this is K1DBC Net Control 7.3, and I will be clear. All right, everyone. Pleasure here. just take things out with a nice ending song here. So y'all have a good song. Night. Have a good evening, everyone. See you next week.